This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Hello there and welcome to This Song Is Yours, a podcast where we dive deep into the world of music and uncover the stories behind your favourite songs and artists. I'm your host, Simon Fink, and I'm thrilled to have you with us today. Our guest today on the podcast is dance and techno DJ and producer, Fukhed. Yes, you heard me correctly. The artist project of Lynn Tran, Fukhed has been having an absolutely stellar year. Originally starting out by DJing in her bedroom and then moving to the clubs, this year has seen her have a massive upgrade. From playing festivals like Field Day and Beyond the Valley to releasing her own original music in the form of single No C, No A, Fuckhead's star is truly on the rise. In late July, she'll be joining dance and electronic artists like DJ Seinfeld and JamesJamesJames on the Sound Archive stage at Spin-Off Festival, alongside already announced artists like Baby Gravy, The Last Dinner Party and Conan Gray. In today's episode, we talk to Lynn about the Fukhed artist name and its origins from Instagram. We talk about Spin-Off Festival and how playing festival sets can differ from crowds at club gigs. We also discuss the creative process of her own music and the journey from DJing to producing her own tracks. Lastly, we explore whether we can expect to see any more original music from her this year. Fingers crossed that we do. Now, we want to say a massive thank you to Monique for her help with today's episode and to make sure you follow and subscribe to this very podcast. Now, all details for Fukhed, Spin-Off and this pod can be found within today's show notes. So let's get into it. Here is our conversation with Fukhed. Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, Lynn Tran, aka Fukhed. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
The hesitation. The hesitation with Fuckhead. Yeah. You'll get used to it though. You'll get used to it. Yeah.
It's a name that I feel like I had to very delicately pronounce then, only just in terms of making sure that my intonation was correct and that it was like saying the artist's name, not, implying anything or doing anything like that.
Yeah. It's a funny one for sure, but you do get used to it.
I did hear, I think in my research for today, having a look, it was something that Year 9 Lynn came up with. It was like your Instagram handle in Year 9. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah. So that was roughly around when Instagram just started. So it was literally just because I didn't want to be found on Instagram and then the normal Fuckhead was taken with the C and the A. So I decided to take the C and the A out. And then that one was available and it just kind of stuck. It just stuck when I started DJing. So, yeah, that's how the name came about.
I think it kind of works. And again, taking out some of those letters, I think almost helps in terms of getting past any like weird censors or like bots that detect something. It's kind of worked in your favour.
You'd be so surprised. I still get censored a lot for certain things. It's okay.
Well, look, regardless of the, I guess, whether the name's being censored or not, I'm super glad that we've got you on the podcast today to chat. Very excited to kind of have a conversation, I guess, in relation to the year that has been for yourself. I know that we're here to kind of talk about Spin-Off and that festival coming up in the next month, but I also just wanted to, I guess, have a chat about songwriting and your artist project and everything else. I guess if we're going to kick things off with Spin-Off, it is coming up. It's in Adelaide, end of July. Have you played Adelaide before?
Yes, I've played probably twice, like a while ago. Very short and small stints. But yeah, looking forward to do this festival because I feel like it will give me more of a feel of what the crowd would be like. So yeah, I'm excited.
100%. I think we're an Adelaide-based podcast, and I know that there's a lot of excitement around Spin-Off in general, but also the stage that you were on. I believe it's the Sound Archive stage. Do you remember, I guess, those two shows that you were referring to, do you remember much about where you played at Adelaide or the crowd or kind of any haunts?
Yeah. No, the crowds are actually really great. I played at 2 clubs. I played at Divide, and then I also played at Electric Circus, but that one wasn't really announced. But it was a lovely crowd. But I think I didn't. Yeah, I felt like it was a very in and out trip, and I didn't feel like I haven't played there a few times. I know people have gone there like back and forth, but I don't feel like I got the full grasp of it. But from what I experienced, it was a great crowd. So I'm excited to be back, to be honest. Yeah.
I think we're very excited to kind of have you come across. I think it's one of those things of that when you see like national tour announced and Adelaide's usually left off, when people do come to visit us, we are that little bit more appreciative. We're a little bit more like, it's an added thank you for coming to see us.
Yeah.
I know
it's like Adelaide and Perth.
True.
Yeah, Adelaide
very
and Perth
true.
always left off, right? Yeah. So that's why I'm excited to, be back.
Who else is playing on the stage? I think that we've got JamesJamesJames. I think we've got DJ Seinfeld. Yep, a number of those artists. You've played with a number of those similar names before. I imagine that you're all kind of mates or kind of see each other on the circuit.
Yeah, so Club Angel, so he's a really good friend of ours. So Gabriel, I haven't played a show with him, but I played a show with James before as well. James is lovely. And I haven't played, and I believe Willow's on the lineup too, right?
Yes.
Yes. Willow's so lovely as well. I think this might be the first time we've played together. I think I've only ever played with James though. And then everyone else will be for the first time. I mean, yes, from what I can remember. Yeah. But I'm so excited to just see everyone play.
It is, I believe that we're like starting to see your name more and more on like festival lineups. I know that earlier this year there was Field Day, I think Beyond the Valley. I think there might have been 1 or 2 others as well. So please correct me if I'm wrong with any additional. But how are you finding that kind of transition? Because I imagine that it's playing clubs, playing venues, and then going into the festival circuit, I can imagine is kind of like a whole different beast unto itself.
Definitely. So last year, my first festival was Mode Festival. And then I did, so Mode was definitely, the first one. And then after that I did Subsonic as well. But that's the thing. They were all kind of different. I find that, Mode and Subsonic were a little bit different than Field Day and then Beyond the Valley and stuff like that. Because I feel like it's like I can't explain it, but Field Day and Beyond the Valley were kind of like I felt like I'm so bad at explaining. Forgive me. Like Mode, I played. At Mode, I played, and it's still a room. It wasn't like outside in the in the wild or anything. I felt like it was still such a small stage, and decent amount of people, but it's still overall smaller than the scale of Beyond the Valley or Field Day. So, but the experience at all of them was so amazing at every single one of those festivals. Like going from club to like an open space with a larger crowd was definitely daunting at first, but then when you're kind of there, it was comforting as well at the same time, because I think when there's so many people as well, you can't focus on, just, whereas in a in a club, it's, I feel like it's more like I'm looking at you and watching you play as opposed to like a bunch of like thousands of people watching you. You're like, oh, okay, there's too many people to worry about. So it's just like, but I find that obviously the larger the crowd as well, like the energy is 10 times more contagious. So like, what you're feeling and what you're playing as well, you can definitely feel what the crowd is feeling as well. So it's I don't know, but I'm very grateful because it was such an amazing experience.
100%.
Especially beyond the valley too.
Yeah, 100%. No. Sorry. I was just going to agree with you. I think sometimes it's like when you've got less things to, how do I word this? When there are less people, you've got more things to focus on. It's like a weird dichotomy kind of thing of like when you're in a bigger kind of arena or even outside festival, you can just you're looking at like the top of 1,000 heads instead of having to look at the face of like 30 to 40 people. So I imagine that kind of makes it a little bit easier to process for you.
I think so, yeah. Because I think, and it also comes down to, the size of the stage and like just where you're at as well. Because like, especially in clubs, it's like you're closer to the audience as well. So you feel a bit more exposed in a way because they can like see you. But still, it was so fun either way. It's nice either way. Yeah.
Of course. Well, I know that there's some excitement around this spin-off gig as well, because although those festivals, and I'm sure that you killed it, was not there personally, so reading the reviews and kind of seeing what people said online is that you did a fantastic job. I know that with Spin-Off now, I guess since some of those festivals, you've released your own music. You're not just playing kind of like other music. You've got your own Fukhed songs to play, which I imagine is kind of like exciting in its own kind of right.
Yeah, it's exciting. But again, I feel like I feel like when you're putting yourself out there in any way, it's always going to be daunting at first. But but then once that, you get over that hump, it gets, more exciting, and it will always be nerve-wracking, but I'm just super grateful to be able to do that. It is, obviously I am taking my time with it because I'm still learning as well. And I just I think that the audience that you get from DJing is also maybe a touch different than like audience that you build from production as well. So that's why I just want to make sure I'm taking my time with it. And also, so just building that slowly. So I feel like I'm starting again in a way, but I'm super grateful. Like I put out one single and just slowly working on like putting out singles, just singles this year to slowly build it up. But it is really nice and very cathartic experience too.
Which I can very much appreciate. I think that there's something to definitely be respected in terms of, especially in this age of 2024, where if something finds success, there's an element of, you've got to rush out 20 more copies or, like kind of really add to it very quickly. So it's nice to see an artist, being able to be like, let's like genuinely kind of take time and build it. The track that you're referring to is No C, No A. It came out in May and it is a brilliant piece of dance music. So firstly, congratulations on the single.
Thank you so much.
Of course. We are primarily like a songwriting podcast. I was wondering whether you might be able to walk us through, I guess, what the inspiration or like the process of how that song came to be.
For sure. So essentially my whole thing with curating, whether like curating any set list and I knew that down the line this is what I wanted for my music, but essentially I wanted to capture both the elements of a song being soft and like heavy at the same time. And I was trying to figure out, that's why in my sets as well, you'll notice it's like the ebbs and flows of the set, it would be something like euphoric and cute and pretty, in conjunction with like something way heavier. And I wanted my first single to be an amalgamation of that. And the thing is, I was trying to figure out how to cohesively do that as well. Because I think it could be, and so within the track, I knew exactly how I wanted to be structured as well. And I wanted elements of, because I love like this, like the subgenres that have come out, like the hard drummy kind of tracks and percussive tracks. So I knew that I wanted that element in it, as well as like, very euphoric and pretty vocal chops in it as well. So I was like, okay, how am I going to combine those two things without it feeling disjointed or sounding disjointed. So that was a big part of, and that, I think that down the line as well, that will always be something that I want my music to have, just both euphoric, pretty yet heavy and strong at the same time. So yeah, but I've taken inspiration from like different genres and different songs that I love from artists and stuff like that. So I was trying to take bits and pieces to create my own.
I think you've done a very good job in doing so. So yeah, once again, congratulations on the
Thank
single.
you. I hope so.
When you made that decision to kind of go into working on production and your own music from not just DJing, I hate to say just DJ, but I guess taking that step further, do you remember what the original kind of catalyst was, or what made you think, yeah, you know what, that's what I want to do, not just DJ? Again, I hate the word just, so apologies, but
no, you're fine. I understand.
Move from DJing to being able to produce and make your own music.
I've actually have wanted to, once, I realized that there is potential in me doing music and DJing as a career, I knew that the next step was going to be production, because also, outside of that, there's not always going to be a stream of music. Like, say I like one song and I love, and I'm just itching to find another in that, the same thing, but you can't, there's not always a constant stream of to find what you want. And so I want that for myself. It was the same. It's the same thing with like DJing as well. I'm at a club or watching friends DJ, and I was like, you know what, I just want to DJ so that I can play what I want to listen to. So with production, it's like I want to create the things that I want to hear, all the things that I want to, that I feel isn't, or that I actually haven't seen a lot of, or something like that. Just call it selfish, but just something for me, and hoping that people resonate with that. But I genuinely, so like No See No Way, it's like I want a song that has all of these elements, whereas I got the inspiration from different songs, not one song that I found had what I was looking for. So, I've known for a while that I've wanted to jump into production for sure.
We've recently spoken to quite a lot of songwriters and producers in terms of just then you use the word selfishly. And it's interesting because I think that there's an element of course, you're wanting your music and art to land with people, to resonate, as you said. But there also has to be an element of that it resonates with you, and that has to continue resonating with you. Like, you have to still hold your interest in it and hold your own love with it. If it's simply being made for masses without any part of you, then it's difficult to for you to then resonate with it, I guess.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Well, but that's exactly why I was explaining that it really is just for me, to see like something that I want to have, like down the line, I want to be able to look back and like, honestly, because my goal this year, I'm not joking, was just to be able to see that, to put out music, like to put out one song even. It wasn't, and then, down the line, I just want to be able to look back on like my Spotify or my discography and just to see that I have a body of work that I love so much, and that, just like the goal, I mean, everything else has been amazing, but I just want my work, like for me,
100%. Well, look, I am very excited to I guess see if there is anything. I don't want to push for anything or, prod the bear. Is there any possibility that we might see more original music from you released this year? I know we said we're taking our time, but is it something that we might possibly see on Spotify or on the streaming services?
Yeah. So there'll definitely be more singles this year. It's hard to, I can't really pinpoint when, because that kind of depends on, when I'm ready and everything like that. But there's constant work, and there's stuff that's ready, but then, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to put that out yet. And just constantly working on new stuff as well, because I'm trying to just figure out, what I kind of feel like putting out. But there's, working on stuff like every day. So, but there'll be guaranteed more. There'll be more this year for sure.
absolutely love that. From everything I've seen, it does seem like No C, No A has definitely resonated with a lot of people. I know that Triple J were loving it, Unearthed, Double J, having a look across a number of other socials of different platforms, dance music kind of publications, and just like general music publications, which is really exciting because I think that's also a thing as well. As you mentioned before, like there are fantastic things about dance music festivals, but it is also nice to see your music kind of transitioning over to Beyond the Valley, Field Day, Spin-Off, which are more broader. And, you know, you might have indie rock guys who come across and they're like, what's this? And I'm sure we'll fall in love with the music of Fukhed. So it is a very exciting time for you. I would love to know, I guess, were you previously, before DJing, were you musically inclined at all? Was there any kind of interest in playing music before DJing?
So this is where I think it's interesting. I always like to explain to people that I'm very surprised that I'm doing this because I grew up in a household that I would say quite sheltered. So I wasn't really, whether the interest was there or not, I wasn't allowed to do any, you know, extracurricular things, including, you know, playing instruments or anything like that. So the love for music actually just came from being like an angsty teen and, you know, in high school kind of thing. And that's when, you know, I would always have music on in like all the time because it was just like, I guess, you know, for most people who I'm sure can relate to this, just wanting to escape from the world using music or, you know, needing that cathartic experience as a teen and going through all these things. And then that's when, you know, the love for music came about, like the addiction with it. And then, yeah, and then from there, I just, you know, it always been like that from, yeah, when I discovered it as well, from friends and TV shows and movies and stuff. But yeah, but growing up, there was no playing with instruments, like never being classically trained or anything like that. So again, I'm very surprised that I'm doing this. But that's also why it is taking a bit longer too, because I really feel like even with DJing and like not knowing, I know a lot of people have also been in the same place as well, not knowing any music theory, not like knowing any of that. It really is hard. So like to learn from scratch, you know, like starting from scratch. So like, but I'm very grateful, and I just, yeah, hope that I can continue or like just succeed in doing this. but yeah, so it just, yeah, stemmed from just the inspirations of, being in, as you get older, being in high school, you know, watching shows, being with friends and stuff, and they'll be like, oh, like this and that, da, da, da. And then, yeah, but that I would say that's when it started, mainly love for music.
I think there's something really special though in terms of not being classically trained. I think sometimes if you are too aware of like what you can do, then it almost stunts your growth in a way, in terms of that you think that there are certain parameters or rules that you have to follow, so you do so and not really discover some other kind of cool shit or something. And I think that it almost, some of the other people this might be letting something out of the bag. I think this episode will come out in a few weeks. We recently spoke to UK pop songwriter, but she also produces Griff. And she had a similar thing where she said that she didn't grow up with like any classical training, but I think she thinks that's what worked in terms of being like, so I didn't know what rules I could break or couldn't break. So I think that there's an element, especially with dance and electronic production, that it's almost, I think it's going to work in your favor. That might just be me projecting, but I think it's really exciting because so far what Fuckhead has put out, it has been exciting, and you can see that there are elements of kind of things that people aren't doing in the industry. So I am curious to see where it is going to go from here. I know as well as Spin-Off, I think there are some international tour dates. You've got some dates in Japan just before Spin-Off, is that right?
Yeah. Yes. So 2 days after I get back from Australia, I get back from Japan on the, like 2 days before Spin-Off.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I'll be there for, I think, like 14 days, maybe less. I'm doing 3 shows there. That's the only time, that's all the time I have. Yeah, but I'll be doing some shows with Flanzy over there, so that'll be really nice. And back to Australia and then spin off.
Nice. How
So
have you
that'll be really
found?
exciting.
How have you found the Japanese crowds react to Fuckhead?
They're amazing. I think that, so I went last year on a whim. I think it was like September or October. I honestly just wanted to see if I could book shows there. I booked 6 shows there, all in different areas. But the experience you get from that is honestly priceless. And I think I always tell people that it's not, obviously, like I understand people need to get paid and everything like that, but going to Japan is so much more than that. And I think it's very healing in a way because they also, yeah, sure, they just drink. You know, the culture there is, I feel like a bit more tame in a way, tame in terms of like, tame in terms of not having, you know, much substances to abuse. You know, it's very tame in that way, which means that you rely on, sure, alcohol, but primarily you'll be relying on just the energy and like pure just energy for how much they love the music. And the thing about that is as well, there is a language barrier. So you're just so it is just, you love music, I love music, and that's it. Like it's just, every show was, and the people were amazing as well. Like I learned so much from them. Like I learned so much from them. And yeah, but the energy in every single room was insane because it was just that they just, like I think I played in Nagoya last year. And I remember the kids there we're trying to talk to each other in Google Translate. And he was just like, thank you so much for showing me like this genre. I've never heard it before, you know, but there was still just pure enjoyment because it's just, you love it. I love it. Great. That's it. There's no ego. There's no bullshit there. It really is just enjoyment and love for music. So I think that's why it's so healing and wholesome as well. So I just honestly wanted to go back just to see everyone and to play there again because it was just so good and wholesome, you know?
That's sick. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it's so good.
Well, yeah, I'm super excited to hear how those shows go once you do return and you're back in Adelaide for Spin-Off. Lynn, we would usually ask our guests what they're currently listening to. Is there anything at the moment that's on high rotation for yourself?
Yes, I am listening to this EP that one of my favorite artists had just put out. His name is Deba. I've mentioned him before, but I will mention him again because he's honestly an inspiration. He's incredible, and I'm still just trying to figure out how he did it, but love him so much. Love his work so much.
Deba, D-E-B-A or double B-A?
Yeah, D-E-double-B-A, yes.
Cool. What kind
I've mentioned his work multiple times. I actually saw, you know how a bunch of subgenres keep coming out on like Bandcamp and all these things, but I think recently his songs got dubbed like future garage or something like that. But it is just elements of, you know, like garagey kind of breakbeaty kind of vibes. That's
okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, cool.
But it's beautiful, honestly. It's like massive inspiration for sure. But,
interesting. Cool.
Yeah, you should honestly check him out. I think he's incredible. Yeah.
We will definitely check him out. We'll even we might even put the links for his music in the show notes today so people can check out the music that you're referring to along with your song as well and your music. Lynn, thank you very much for coming on to the podcast. I do appreciate it. And congratulations on No C, No A. Super excited to see you here in Adelaide for Spin-Off in July. But yeah, thank you again.
Thank you so much. I'm excited.
Imagine the softest sheets you've ever felt. Now imagine them getting even softer over time. That's what you'll feel with Boll & Branch's best-selling signature sheets in 100% organic cotton. In a recent customer survey, 96% replied that Boll & Branch sheets get softer with every wash. Start getting your best night's sleep in sheets that get softer and softer for years to come. Try their sheets with a 30-night guarantee. Plus, get 15% off your first order at bollandbranch.com, code BUTTERY. Exclusions apply. See site for details.